Yo, what's happening, everyone? Rome here, back again for another top 10 of 2017. This is going to be my top 10 board games of 2017. So, some of these I've talked about, I've got some videos about, others I have not. Most of these are games that I've had many plays, or several at least, playthroughs of. There's a couple that I've only played once or twice, so that can move a couple of them. But I'm pretty set on this list. I've gone through this one with a fine-tooth comb, probably more so. I'm more set on this one than I am my movie list, which brings me to my other point. My other companion episode this week is the top 10 movies of 2017. So I put both of those up this week. It's just going to be me. Nick's not with me this week. And then next week, I'm going to be going back to just like a normal weekly podcast. So with everything going on with the holidays and all that, just got sick, all these birthdays, had to move. So life's just been so crazy, and that's why I've been gone for so long. But now I'm back on the regular schedule, top of the year. I know I'm a couple weeks late on the top of the year, but all that stuff is still going on for me. So things are getting back into reality, and Rome Knows Nothing is getting back on schedule. So this week is the two top 10s, movies and board games. And then next week we're back to one episode a week. Monday or Tuesday is going to be the release date every week. And there should not be many weeks off, if any. So that's just a little side information for everyone. So, yeah, if you're into movies, go check out that top 10 movies of 2017. Solid list. So go check it out if you like movies. Anyways, to get started with my top 10, I'm actually going to do just like these little honorable mentions. So like Gloomhaven, I only had one playthrough of, and the teaching was pretty piss poor. So I couldn't put Gloomhaven in my top 10. Anachrony, have not played that yet, unfortunately. That one is that's really itching at me that I haven't played that one yet. So that's got to get to the table soon. Pretty soon here, I'm going to be setting up a game day just to play that, and people will know that we are just playing that. And I don't normally do that, but yeah, I'm gonna have to do that with that one, I think. Charterstone, I've been playing that solo. I've got 5 or 6 games of solo Charterstone in. I've been playing with 2 Automas. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm not. That doesn't make my top 10. The solo Charterstone. So maybe it would with multiplayer. I think I would probably like it a lot more if I was playing it multiplayer. So once I get through this solo campaign, I'm actually going to get the recharge pack and then play a multiplayer campaign, hopefully. So then I'll know how to play, and it'll be easier to teach, and I won't have to like suffer through with other people. So, but I don't know. That one definitely does not make my top 10 though, with the solo games that I've been playing so far. So Azul is not going to make my top 10. That one's really close. It's a really fun little abstract tile laying game. Century Spice Road, that does not make my top 10, but that's pretty close. So those are my honorable mentions from this year. So here we go with Rome's top 10 board games of 2017. Number 10, Flip Ships. So this is a dexterity game. It's a cooperative game where the players are flipping cardboard discs that are spaceships, and you are trying to flip them either onto smaller enemy ship cards, which lay down on the table, or you are trying to flip them into the cardboard box that is quote unquote the mothership. So this is a super fun game. Everybody that I've introduced this game to loves it. It's great at little parties and things. It's easy to house rule to add more players too if you want to play more than 4 players. So I really like that. I'm really not a fan of house rules, but it doesn't really change the game at all. It's not like one of those games that it would really negatively affect it too bad. So I thought that was really neat. It's just a super fun game. It feels like Galaga or whatever. It feels like you're playing like an arcade game on the table. So that was really neat. I really like this one. Let's see. Oh yeah, we'll play it boom, 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 boom. The first night we played it, man, we played it 8 or 9 games in a row. So yeah, that Flip Ships gets played for sure. That's a solid one. If you're okay with dexterity games. If you don't like dexterity games, you obviously won't like it. But if you have any interest in dexterity games, like check out Flip Ships. I don't see many people talking about this one, but Flip Ships is super fun. There's actually a game that was on Kickstarter. I'm mad I didn't get a chance to back it. It was like Mars Open Golf. That was sort of like the same thing where you're like flipping little cardboard um, tokens, but you're golfing, and there's little obstacles and stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool. So that sort of dexterity element, is or that type of dexterity element or mechanic or whatever is really cool. So I'd like to check that one out too. Anyways, number nine. Number nine is going to be Viral. So Viral is I've seen people describe it as a worker placement game. I don't think it's a worker placement. I think it is a area control game. So, you know, it, these workers are not doing anything other than area control. I mean, like you can attack the other opponents and stuff, and like there's things you can do. So like, but I guess when I think of worker placement, I think of you put them down, you put a worker down, and you get a reward for placing them in that specific spot. That's how I think of a worker placement. If I'm totally off base, then let me know. But that's how I sort of define a worker placement. This one, you're placing. There's placement of whatever workers or diseases is what it is, but like or viruses. But you're not getting a reward for them. I mean, Blood Rage isn't a worker placement because you're placing your clan leaders and stuff out on the board. So, I don't think Viral is any sort of work placement. Anyways, that's off on a tangent. So, this is, there's different sections and organs in the body that are all in the different areas, and you're fighting over control of the different sections, like the different, like, multiple organs that make up the different sections of the body and stuff. So, you can do things like, suck up you can get like special abilities where you like suck up other viruses and then spit them out at the end of the turn. You can gain shields. You can attack the other opponents and kill their viruses. I forget what it's called. I think it's like an outbreak. Not an outbreak. Something happens when you get too many viruses in one spot, and they all die at the end. So like I think that's like a little cool mechanic that where you get sent your virus tokens back. But you're programming your cards, so everybody plays two cards, and it's an action card and an area card. So you play those together, and then but everybody does it simultaneously. So then in turn order, you go around the board and take your turns with those cards, and you can't change depending on what they did. So I think that's really cool. I played a couple other games that had that programming mechanic that just didn't really go over too well with me and my group, but Viral I thought was really good. I think that one has gone over really well. I think it's simple enough and integrated well enough with that area control that it works really well. So yeah, Viral is my number 9. Number 8 is Sentient. This is another abstract-ish game where you're playing a corporation who. So there's a theme to it. You're playing a corporation who is building these androids, and you're pretty much collecting cards. So there's like a set collection aspect of it, which would basically just gives you bonus points at the end. But then there's also some area control as far as when you're like drafting these cards and collecting these cards, you have to place your worker out. It's not a worker placement, but you have to place your little worker, your agents, out in that area that card is in, that space that card takes up, and then that will get you tokens that will give you bonus points at the end of the game. So that's really neat that there's like that area control set collection, but it's simple. It's a small game. It's not a giant board. It's not you can rattle off a few games really quick, especially if you're playing with 2 or 3 people. but the game is a arithmetic puzzle. It's a math puzzle, so it's pretty much, but it's real simple math. It's not calculus. This is just greater than, equal to, you know, plus minus. So it's very plus minus one. You know, this is a very simple math game, but there's a lot. It's deeper than what you would think. It's deeper than what I thought. Even after a couple games, I keep playing more and more, and it just keeps getting deeper as far as the what's best to score higher points from the cards, or go for the bonus points at the end, or go for the area. It's just there's a lot working and a lot sort of like meshed together there that I think works really well. So this is one of the games that I've played most this past year. Honestly, it might be the game that I played most. This game, because it's just so quick. So at least out of this top 10, this is probably the game I've played the most. So that's Sentient. Theme's kind of pasted on. It's probably why it's lower on the list. And like I don't like I mean I like these like small games, but I like giant epic games. So like you'll see as we get further on the type of games that are on here. So that's why Azul Century Spice Road didn't make my list, because they just weren't epic. They weren't, big. That's so. Moving on, number 7. This is an Eric Lang game. CMON. We have The Godfather Corleone's Empire. So once again, this is a worker placement area control set collection. There's a lot of mechanics at play. So you're playing your thugs and your bosses out on the board. You're vying for control of the boroughs of New York. You're trying to collect different items, collect different items which will allow you to complete jobs that the Don has set out for you, and that will get you bonus points at the end of the game, as well as have some sort of effect on the board or the game itself. So you're earning money into your hand, and then you have to like cash that money into your little bank that you have, that's a really cool mechanic. I thought it works really well with the game. So this is a super fun game. I guess the only thing that there's games that I like more than this that do the same thing. So that set collection mechanic, that seems done before, where it's just set collection for bonus points type thing. Now the worker placement area control, I do like that mesh. I really do like that mesh, but like there's area control games that I'd rather play. There's worker placement games that I'd rather play. So as well as, when I think about it, the artwork, which is good, is there's not enough of it. And I've talked about this game before on my YouTube channel, but the artwork is really good. There's just not enough of it. You don't see it enough. There's just one picture of the Don on all the cards. The minis are not as good as I thought that they would be. My set is currently being painted, and that's gonna make everything a lot better, but it's just not what I thought. They're not as good as like the Blood Rage minis or something like that. So yeah, and then the theme is sort of pasted on. This is not a Godfather. This doesn't make me feel like I'm like playing a Godfather game. I'm playing like a Mafia game or whatever. So things like that sort of drop this one down on the list, as well as like other games that I was able to play, because this one was way high on my list throughout the year, but it definitely dropped. So moving on, we got number 6, Dinosaur Island. I know this is on a lot of people's like top 1 and everything. That people have this one really high on their list, but for me, I really like the game. I played it once at a convention, and then I played it once solo at home. Now, the multiplayer game was way better, obviously, but the solo game was really fun too. Actually, it helped me get the rules back down and everything, and just sort of remember things. So now I can bust that game out here, hopefully today, actually. So, at first I was iffy on the color scheme, but it's really not as bad, like the box and everything, at least. And it's really not as bad as like what some of like the images and pictures on the Kickstarter made it seem like. So I just have the retail edition, and I'm totally fine with that. I would like to have the metal coins would be cool, but probably not worth the price. And then, I'd like to have like the extra cards and stuff, I guess, but like, I don't know. I'm not too disappointed that I didn't kickstart and get the deluxe edition. But it seems like they're gonna have an expansion coming out in March, and you're gonna be able to probably get some add-ons that give everybody with the retail the full deluxe edition. So, um, but anyways, yeah, Dinosaur Island. You're basically just building a dinosaur island. This is Jurassic Park in a box. You are There's a lot of Jurassic Park puns and references and stuff on the cards and the little marketplaces and everything like that, which is really cool. Those are fun to laugh at and get a kick out of. I get a kick out of all those. Um, but you're building your park, so there's all these different phases, and that's what I like about this game is the different phases. So you go through phase one where you're rolling the DNA dice and you're collecting DNA and you're collecting dinosaur recipes, and then you move on and you're gaining things from the market and possibly hiring scientists to help you out, and then you're moving on and doing you're placing your workers and your scientists, and you're actually creating the dinosaurs and you're upping your security, and then you move on and you pull patrons out of bags or out of a bag, and you're placing your patrons in the park, and watch out for those pesky hooligans. So I thought that was really cool, just all these different phases, and the worker placement phase actually happens simultaneously, so there's not like this. It doesn't take too long. The game doesn't seem super methodical. Like you're not. It plays really smooth. You're not sitting there waiting on your opponent to take their turn forever. You're actually taking your turn at the same time. So, you know, you got to go by the faith rule. You got to like make sure maybe the first couple times through, like do it one by one, but then after the first round or two, I think everybody will get it. There's probably some people that'll might little take a little leniency on themselves or something, but it's like if you're playing games like that with people, I mean, why are you playing games like that with people? Like, just be honest. So, yeah, so hopefully people aren't like fudging their stats and giving themselves an extra security, or saying that they paid a coin that they didn't or something like that. But most of the people that I would play with wouldn't do anything like that. I don't think so. That's not too much of an issue here. But yeah, so Dinosaur Island, I know it's number 6, and it seems like it's low, but there's just so many fun games that came out this year. And I know a lot of people had a lot of the games that are higher up on my list on their list, but they had Dinosaur Island higher, and it's really great, and I think it's a really fun game. The other games, and maybe after several more plays, it will jump up, but as of right now, these other games sit higher on the list. So number 5 is Near and Far. This is a Red Raven game. This is from Ryan Laukat. Laukat. This is like a exploration type game. I just really like the different maps that you can play with. I really like the going on adventures and reading the stories from the other reference book, the storybook, and just that storytelling aspect of it, I think is enough for me, as opposed to maybe like a legacy campaign style game. But you can play that in Near and Far. Now I've only played individual games, but I haven't played any sort of event like legacy. I haven't played like the campaign style. I forget what they call their quote unquote game modes in Near and Far. But I've only played just individual separate games, intro games you could say. Now it's just really fun. It's really fun collecting your resources and managing your resources and getting little assistance and stuff. The art's great. The component quality is great. I have hardly any complaints about this game. This game is amazingly fun. I think after playing a campaign, this game might skyrocket up to like the top 3 in my list actually. So I'd be pretty excited to do that. Moving along, number 4, Wasteland Express Delivery Service. This is a post-apocalyptic themed game. You are a wasteland. You're in a wasteland express, or you're in a wasteland, and you are an express delivery service. So you're trying to deliver weapons, food, and water. Now, there's this really cool like market where, or like market scale, where there's supply and demand, and that will change. The price of selling these goods will change throughout the game depending on what's in demand. So that's a really neat mechanic I thought in it. A really neat little addition to the game. I thought that the modular board was really cool with how everything fits together and how not everything's going to be in the same spot every time, and there's so many different variations of it because not all the tiles are the same, and like it's not just the tiles, like the just like the wasteland tiles, the ground tiles, but you're also getting like your shop tiles and stuff that are going to be changing up. So the variation in the map or whatever, the quote unquote map is really cool. The quote unquote board is really cool. So that's great. The component quality is amazing. The game trays insert is out of this world. I haven't played or I don't have Mechs vs Minions or anything, but people are saying Dinosaur Island is on the same component quality level as Wasteland Express. I disagree highly. I know I don't have the deluxe edition, but like I've got some like sunken in belly dinosaurs from Dinosaur Island. Like they look like they're hungry dinosaurs, where they're like pinched in the middle. And I'm not talking about like just your normal like your fingers sit there. Like there's like an indent. It looks like somebody like got it super hot and like pushed it in with a pen or something. So Wasteland Express doesn't have these issues. At least my copy didn't. So the game trays insert is incredible. This is just top of the line production quality across the board. So let's see. This is another game from Jonathan Gilmour. He did Dinosaur Island as well. He's one of my favorite designers. He's an amazing guy. He actually taught me Wasteland Express. He taught me Dinosaur Island. Taught me his other game, Path of Light and Shadow. So, Wasteland Express is my favorite game of his. It takes a minute to set up, but just set it up in advance, and I mean, I don't think the game overstays its welcome. I know a lot of if you play the variant where you can like send the trucks, you can send the raider trucks around the outside of the board. If you've played That Makes Sense to You, you can sort of like warp them over to the other corner of the board or whatever. That adds a lot. So there's little like if you play with the different variations and stuff, it's really cool. I'm actually really excited. I would like to get a couple people and just like play through the little story, the little campaign that they have in the rulebook. I thought that was kind of neat. So get a little story behind it. I think that'll add a cool element to the game. So moving on, number 3, we have Raiders of the North Sea. So I was really skeptical about this game for quite a long time. I had heard a lot of great things about it, and when Renegade Games was publishing it and releasing it in the U.S., that's I jumped. So played this game at a convention, and so the reason I was skeptical just because I already have a worker placement Viking game. I already have Champions of Midgard. I already have the expansions. Like that's the game. My group loves that game. Like I love that game. But Raiders of the North Sea plays completely different. You only have one worker. You don't have a team of workers. And whenever you place a worker down, you pick a worker up. And when you place it down, you take an action. You pick it up, you take an action. I thought that is a really neat that pick up or that put down pick up mechanic was great to me. So there were a couple other games that were recommended to me because I had voiced my opinion on liking that act or that mechanic so much. So I really hope to try those out too because that worked really well for me, and it made the gameplay super smooth. The turns are real quick. It's just boom, 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 boom. I mean, I play the game with people that are like super AP prone, and it goes boom, 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 boom. Like people take their turns fairly quick. This is, it's a really smooth game. I think it's decently deep for the length, And that's what I sort of like too, is that it plays pretty quick. Champions of Midgard, especially with the expansions, can get a little lengthy for me. Um, you can people start to get AP prone when there's just so many options and everything, I think. And yeah, with Raiders, it's just real tight, and I like that. So I'm wondering how the expansions are going to change the gameplay and change that aspect of the gameplay, I should say, for me. So, but I am excited to try those expansions. Those are a couple of the expansions right now that I'm interested in. I'm actually in a buying and hold right now. I'm not going to be buying any more new games. There's a couple Kickstarter games and stuff that I'm going to be backing, but I want to get a couple. Like if I'm going to be buying any games, I want to buy some expansions. I want to buy the Raiders expansions. I want to buy the Scythe expansion, the Wind Gambit. Not the newest one that they've released, but I still don't have the Wind Gambit. I want to get that. I want to get the Star Wars Rebellion expansion. So, I'll probably be doing that and kind of completing my games that I have now, as opposed to getting new stuff for a while, especially with the Kickstarter backs and stuff. So, but yeah, Raiders of the North Sea. The art is amazing. The gameplay is amazing. The production quality is amazing. You get metal coins with the game. I can't recommend this one enough. So, okay, number 2, Clank in Space. I love deck builders, and I love like simple little like board play, and just like go grab these things and pick up these and go there. Like it feels like a more old school style board game, but then you have like the maybe newer age like deck building elements and stuff in it. Like I don't know, I really dig it. I really like deck builders. I really like shuffling the cards and laying my hand out and recruiting this and taking these actions, and it's really fun for me. You know, Clank in Space is still pretty simple. It takes everything from Clank and just makes it better. I've got a video on this one. Check it out on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna run it down there better than I am here. But Clank in Space is one of the games that I'm most eager to get like off my shelf more and more. I want to play that game more and more. So right now I've mainly only played that with like 2 people, 3 people. I don't think I've played it with 4 yet. But I want to keep playing that. There's a solo mode on the app that you can play. I'm kind of curious about that. I've never been big on like solo board gaming, but after playing Charterstone solo, which is actually it's not terrible. After playing Charterstone solo, that's making me want to play Scythe solo, which I never really wanted to set up, but you know, it might be worth it. Maybe play if you have time to play a couple games or something, which I might sometime. But yeah, Clank. I'm all about Clank. Clank in Space. I mean, I'm all about it. This game is deep enough to where you can get a lot of plays out of it, but it's not so deep where like it's going to take a long time to explain to new players or anything. So, I would even call Clank in Space. It could technically be, I mean, it's a deep gateway game, but like it could be like it's sort of like a gateway game. It's just deeper than Clank. So, but it's more of a gamer's game. There's more elements to it like that. So, highly recommend Clank in Space. It's number 2 on my list for a reason. So, okay, moving on. Number 1. I think most people know what this game is. I've been talking about it like on social media and stuff all year long ever since I played it. It was immediately shot to the top of my list of the year. I've been calling it the game of the year all year. It's moving up my top favorite games ever, which it's only been a couple years since I've been in the hobby, but you know, it's moving up there. So, Fate of the Elder Gods. This is what is it? Fabled Nexus, Greater Than Games, whatever that deal is. The you are you're I got a video on this one too, so I won't go into deep detail. But you're just trying to, you're playing as this elder god, and you're trying to like summon. You're playing these cultists who are trying to like summon this elder god to destroy the city or the temple or whatever, and it's just really cool how it's sort of like a worker placement, but it's like a very simple worker placement, and then you're also trying to set collect to summon spells. You can put curses, or like other people can become cursed, and you will hold those, like your opponents will hold those curses and have to announce when they're triggered. That mechanic is so fun. This game is just, the production quality is top notch. The art is top notch. This is just a super fun game. This is my favorite Lovecraftian game. Mansions of Madness Second Edition is amazing. It's like close to a perfect game, but Fate of the Elder Gods just has. It's more of a board game than Mansions of Madness, I guess. And I like that. I like that there's no app. I like that it's not like a scenario based thing. So like for those reasons, I think I would put it over Mansions of Madness as far as Lovecraftian games go. But you know, I think that this game is heavily slept on. I don't think enough people are playing it. I don't think enough people are talking about it, and that's why it's my number one. It's so fun. I would never, um, I would never not play this game. If somebody wanted to play this, I would set up Wasteland Express, and if somebody was like, "Oh, I was really wanting to play Fate of the Elder Gods," I would break down Wasteland Express and set up Fate of the Elder Gods just because I love it that much. Like that game is just so good, so good. It's not super long. Turns go quick. I have zero complaints about this game, and I don't even win it. I don't even know if I've won a game of it. And like I know I've said this before. That's a sign of a great game when you're losing consistently and you still want to play more, you still enjoy the game, and you're getting your butt kicked. That's a great game. So that's Fate of the Elder Gods. That's my number one. That's my top 10 of the year. Let me just run through that top 10. I didn't do this for my movie list, but so number 10, Flip Ships. Number 9, Viral. Number 8, Sentient. Number 7, The Godfather, Corleone's Empire. Number 6, Dinosaur Island. Number 5, Near and Far. Number 4, Wasteland Express Delivery Service. Number 3, Raiders of the North Sea. Number 2, Clank in Space. Number 1, Fate of the Elder Gods. So that's my top 10 for the year. Appreciate everyone listening. I apologize once again for being gone so long, this little hiatus that I've been on the past couple months, but just a lot going on. So things are getting less busy, less hectic, getting back into the swing of a more regular schedule and everything. So I hope everyone's still with me. I hope everyone enjoys this top 10 board games list. I hope everyone, if you haven't, goes and listens to that top 10 movies of 2017. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Twitter, Instagram. I'm most active on Facebook. Not so much on Twitter. I can be pretty active on Instagram. Probably up that activity a little bit here, moving forward, especially with the board game pictures and stuff. I haven't been taking as many pictures when I've been playing lately, so we'll change that. So, hope everybody's ready for some more regular content from Rome Knows Nothing. Thanks again for listening. I'll catch you back here next time.